Before we start, check your social media. You might have 500, 1000 or even 2000 followers, but how many of them do you really talk to in person? While our cities and digital life keep expanding, many of us feel more isolated than ever. Mental health issues are about 40% higher in urban areas, and face-to-face interactions have dropped by 25%. Plus, we see thousands of ads every day, making it seem like our city is one giant store. But what if I told you that this is not your fault, that the city that you live in is actually designed to make you feel this way? Unfortunately, this is true. Modern urban designs are not just shaping skylines, they are also shaping our psychology as well. Surrounded by billboards, minimalist buildings, and almost no green spaces, many of us feel that our quality of life is deteriorating. In this video, we will talk about how capitalism is reshaping our urban spaces, why public areas are disappearing, and what all of this means for our well-being. We will also look at simple ways to stay connected, even when everything around us seems to be built to keep us apart. So, how did our cities become places that feel more like shopping zones than friendly neighborhoods? To answer this, we need to look at what cities used to look like. If you see photos from the 50s, you will notice wide sidewalks, local markets, and parks where people could meet naturally. Urban planners understood the importance of creating shared spaces such as cafes, libraries, and parks. These were not homes or workplaces, but somewhere in between where people could gather and talk. During this time, it was common to see children playing in the streets and people chatting on their front steps. In places like New York, local businesses on every corner made it easy to run errands and catch up with neighbors. In London or Paris, bustling markets and public squares brought the community together. This design made it easy for people to meet face to face and form real connections. However, everything changed in the 50s and 60s when cars became more popular. Cities widened roads to handle traffic, turning public squares into parking lots. Many small shops closed and were replaced by large supermarkets. With less walking and more driving, people spent less time talking to their neighbors. According to UN Habitat, over 3/4 of all urban areas now use less than 20% of their land for public spaces and streets. If your city has fewer parks and more billboards, you're seeing the result of this shift yourself. These changes didn't just make streets wider, they also pushed people apart. More time in cars meant fewer everyday interactions. This set the stage for a more isolated lifestyle, one that many of us still experience today. Next, we will look at how this shift laid the groundwork for a style of urban design that shapes where we go, how we act, and even how we feel. As cities moved away from people-friendly designs, another idea began to shape our streets and public spaces. Urban psychologists call it behavior architecture, which means creating places that guide and sometimes limit our actions without us even realizing it. One of the clearest examples is what many refer to as hostile architecture. In 2015, San Francisco made headlines by removing public benches from its downtown areas, leaving nowhere for people to sit and rest. Chicago soon replaced benches with metal dividers, and London added anti-sleeping spikes on flat surfaces, and New York subway stations introduced lean bars instead of proper seats. Some architects call this urban minimization, but the real purpose is to discourage people from staying in these spaces for too long, especially those who are homeless. This is also why you might see bigger crowds in a mall than in a local park. Modern city layouts are filled with billboards, bright lights, and easy access to shopping. These features encourage people to buy things, and sometimes without truly needing them. Malls and shopping districts are designed so you will spend more time and more money there, while public spaces that don't revolve around spending are often neglected and even removed. But physical design is not the only way our behavior is controlled. Surveillance has grown into a powerful tool for shaping how we act in public. Many studies on urban security show that in major cities, the average person can be recorded by security cameras over 300 times a day. This constant watchfulness can make us behave more cautiously, discouraging the free, relaxed interactions that once brought us closer together. As a result, our city environments, through layout, design features, and surveillance, are quietly pushing us apart. Public benches and welcoming spots are harder to find while malls and commercial areas grow larger. We have fewer chances for natural face-to-face connections, which used to bring energy and meaning to our daily lives. These design choices and constant surveillance may seem random, but there is a bigger reason behind them. Up next, we will find out how businesses benefit from keeping us isolated and why cities often feel like they are built to make us spend more money. So why would anyone want to design a city that makes us feel separated from each other? One major reason is profit. When neighborhoods lose shared spaces like parks and community centers, people have fewer options for free gathering spots. This often pushes them toward malls or commercial areas for entertainment and basic needs. And malls are not just large buildings filled with stores, they are carefully engineered environments designed to make us spend more time and money inside. Many architects refer to the Gruen transfer, which happens when maze-like layouts, controlled lighting, and hidden exits cause you to lose track of time. Have you ever noticed how escalators are often placed at opposite ends, or that you rarely spot exits from the center of a mall? This is not just poor design, it's a deliberate strategy to keep you wandering around looking at more products. According to a study published in the Harvard Business Review, people increase their spending by about 30% for every additional 10 minutes that they stay in a shopping mall. But why do cities replace parks and community gardens with more buildings and more billboards? The simple answer is economics. Commercial real estate in busy urban areas makes far more money per square foot than public spaces ever could. This leads property developers to lobby against requirements for parks or plazas, arguing that these spaces don't generate the same profits. Even when city planners try to include a balance of community and commerce, large corporations often push back. They use profit margins to justify limiting public areas, creating a cycle in which more open spaces are converted into commercial ones. As a result, people end up with fewer places to gather unless they are willing to spend more money. In other words, isolation is not just a byproduct of modern life, it's part of a system that encourages you to consume more. By making free public areas scarce, businesses steer you into environments where your attention and wallet are always in play. We have seen how cities often profit from our isolation, but what does that isolation actually cost us? Let's take a closer look at the toll that this can take on our mental and emotional health. When parks and community centers disappear, we lose so much more than just pretty scenery. Research shows that people living in areas with limited public spaces and too many commercial areas often have higher stress levels. According to the Journal of Urban Health, this can lead to an increased risk of anxiety and depression. Studies also show that individuals in large cities are 20% more likely to develop an anxiety disorder compared to those in smaller towns. One article even found that living near modern concrete structures, often described as ugly buildings, can make people feel lonely and miserable. So why does this happen? Our bodies react to stressful surroundings by releasing cortisol, a hormone that is linked to our fight or flight response. When we walk through places dominated by busy roads and towering concrete, our cortisol levels tend to spike up, making us feel tense. In contrast, greener or more traditional urban areas can help us feel calmer and more at ease. Noise and overcrowding also play a role. According to the World Health Organization, noise pollution in urban environments contributes to sleep disturbances and a higher risk of heart disease. Crowded living conditions can add another layer of stress, making it harder for people to find calm in their daily routines. Urban social stress syndrome is another concern. This happens when isolation, commercial pressure, and a lack of natural spaces come together, creating a perfect storm for mental health problems. Over time, it can lead to chronic stress, mood swings, and even severe depression. Now, all of this suggests that our city design doesn't just affect how we spend our money, it also shapes our well-being in ways that we might not even notice right away. The result is an environment where many people feel disconnected and overwhelmed, an unfortunate mix that can harm both our minds and our bodies. So, we've seen how modern cities can impact our mental and emotional well-being. The question is, what can we do about this? First, let's remember that cities are not bad at all. They offer jobs, cultural events, and the chance to meet people from all walks of life. We don't need to abandon urban living. Instead, we can find ways to make city life feel more human and connected. Even if we can't rebuild entire cities on our own, we can take small steps in our daily lives to feel more grounded. For example, joining a local art or dance class can help you meet new people face to face. Community events, volunteering, or simply spending time in a neighborhood park can also give us real connections, not just digital ones. Studies show that activities involving social interaction can reduce feelings of loneliness and improve mental well-being. Taking a walk in a green space can lower your stress levels as well. Even if it's just a short break from concrete surroundings, a bit of nature can go a long way in making us feel better. So yes, our cities may be designed in ways that push us apart or nudge us towards spending money, but we still have the power to seek out meaningful connections and shape our own experiences. It might be as simple as chatting with a neighbor, finding a local meetup group, or taking a moment to appreciate the trees and flowers in a small park. But over time, these small actions add up, helping us feel less isolated and more in touch with the world around us. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, consider sharing it with someone who also lives in a busy city. Hit the like button and subscribe for more insights. And if you had any personal questions or experiences about city life, make sure to drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.